guys, it's Peyton, and today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated book releases of 2021. I think these are all YA. I do read adult books from time to time, but I mostly read YA, and most of these books are probably like fantasy and contemporary books. My favorite genre is fantasy. I have 23 books, I believe, on this list, and I have so many books that could go on this list. There's so many books that have intrigued me and I would want to check out this year even more than on this list, but mostly these are the books that like I've heard a lot about. I've read the authors before and like I know I really want to read the book. Obviously this is not my entire list of books in the world, in the universe that I want to read, but it's a good list to start with. There's so many good ones. I'm gonna go in publication order and let's go ahead and get started because I'm so excited. The first book I'm super excited for is Happily Ever After by Elise Bryant. This seems to be about this girl named Tessa. She is in a creative writing program. She's super excited to finally like let her stories out there and not just have her friend Caroline read the stories. But once she's actually in the program, she's like in a writer's block situation. She just cannot get the words flowing. She mostly writes romances and like she just cannot get it to come out for some reason. So her friend Caroline has a solution. She says Tessa needs to find her own real life love story so she can spark her writing once again and be inspired. Caroline picks out a dude for Tessa, I believe, and he's like, I don't know, he's a hottie, he's an artist, and he could literally be from one of Tessa's stories. But I think Tessa is starting to fall in love with this guy named Sam who is living across the street. He seems like he's really sweet. Yeah, she's not falling in love with the right dude that she's supposed to be falling in love with, and I guess she goes on a way weird love story in this book, and I just love books about writers. I love that. I'm a writer myself. I need to start actually writing again so I can keep saying I'm a writer. It just really is always super inspiring to me to read about someone who's like really similar to me. I don't know, it gives me good vibes. I also love reading about people who are way different than me as well. The next book on my list is Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This comes out January 12th. This is the prequel to The Hate You Give, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite book, and it has been on the New York Times bestseller list for freaking forever. Like, everybody freaking loves this book. The movie's amazing as well, and I just love Angie Thomas in general. I've met her twice, and she's just such a lovely person and is hilarious. Her books are just so freaking good. I loved both of them, The Hate You Give and On the Come Up. I actually loved On the Come Up even more for some reason, but they're both amazing books. And this one is supposed to follow the father from The Hate You Give. So Maverick, and he's supposed to be a 17-year-old boy in this book. It follows him right when he starts to have his son, Seven. We know Seven as the brother of our main character Star from The Hate You Give, and it's really just him in his youth grappling with, you know, he's about to have a son. He is in with the King Lords, which is like, I think, a gang in Garden Heights, which is where they live. He's trying to get out of the King Lords, and he's just trying to turn his life around a little bit, and we kind of do know that tension that Maverick had with King, which is one of the characters. He was kind of like the antagonist of the book a little bit. They definitely had some tensions, and I would love to dive into the backstory to see what really goes on with them. This book is just going to be amazing. I freaking know it. Like, I cannot wait for this book, and I'm already in love with it. I already know I'm going to love it. The next book I'm excited for is You Have a Match by Emma Lord. This comes out January 12th as well, and this is another book by an author that I read earlier this year. She wrote Tweet Cute, which was a really cute book, and I really enjoyed that, so I definitely want to try out this author's other book. The main character, Abby, does a DNA test on herself randomly, and she finds out she has a long-lost sister. It seems like her parents gave that sister up for adoption. She sees that her sister is going to be at this summer camp or something, and they seem to be complete opposites. Like, I think she's like kind of like a social media star, the sister, and she's kind of intimidated by her, but she really wants to get to know her and find out why they're long lost sisters, like what is going on there. And she also has a cute boy working at that camp as well, so there's gonna be a love story and I think a little bit of a connection between two long lost sisters. I feel like it's gonna be cute, and I definitely really enjoyed the author's other book, so I feel like I would want to read this one too. The next book I'm super excited about is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. This comes out February 16th, and this is the sequel trilogy of the A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy. It's the first one, it has been teased like forever. We've been told that this is going to be a thing for a while, but it's finally coming out. I really hate the cover. Like, it literally is so gross to me, but you can look past that because I'm really excited for the book. It follows our main character Feyre's sister from the original trilogy. Her name is Nesta. She is super angry all the time. Like, she has a lot of fury behind her gaze. Like, she really is going through something in the original trilogy, and I would love to get deeper into her mindset and see what's really making her tick and like why is she so angry all the time, what's going on. She has a little bit of a connection to this guy named Cassian and is always fighting with him, and I really love Cassian as a character as well, so I just would love to see that connection that they kind of have go deeper. But this one seems to be like a conflict that happens after the original trilogy in the world that they live in. It's a bunch of fairies and things like that. So it's like a magical world, and the human world and the fairy world live side by side, and there's like a big border that is like impenetrable at this moment between them. But I'm mostly here for the Nestian content. The next book I'm excited for is A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. This comes out February 23rd. I was interested in this one because it is 4 queer main characters, and it is a fairy fantasy book. Literally everything I would ever want. The cover is also striking as well. It seems like just kind of like A Court of Thorns and Roses, that there's humans and fairies and they're separated, and the fairies aren't supposed to harm the humans, and I think there's murder starting to happen, and the 4 queer main characters do something about it. I really don't know much about it. It just sounds similar to other books that I've liked, but we actually have queer characters in it, and that's everything I would want. The next book I'm super excited for is Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This book comes out March 2nd. I'm definitely super excited about this one. This is the sequel to Chain of Gold, and I really love that one. It is a sequel trilogy to the Infernal Devices trilogy. It's the new Last Hours series. It's so complicated. Cassandra Clare has so many series within this universe. It's the Shadowhunter Chronicles. It's where half human, half angels fight demons. There's Shadowhunters. Like, it's just so much going on. And like, honestly, if you don't already know about it, you can't even read this. So why should I explain? This just continues the shit that got set up in the first one. We have our main characters Cordelia, James, and Lucy. They're having to follow a trail of a killer that's going around their city, and they all are keeping secrets. The next book I'm super excited for is Sweet and Bitter Magic by Adrienne Tooley. This comes out March 9th. This book seems to be about witches. It is about 2 girls. It is a female-female romance, it seems like. Tamsin is a really powerful witch, but one day she does a magical sin and she's exiled by her coven and cursed with the inability to love. So she's never going to be able to love someone again. The only way she can get those feelings back, even for just a little while, is to steal love from others. So she can take the love that other people feel for other people and like consume it and like have it for herself. It sounds interesting, a little bit confusing, but I'm sure if you actually read the book, it gets cleared up a little bit. The other character is Ren. She is a rare kind of person who is made of magic despite being unable to use it herself. So she's like a source. Other people can use the magic that's swirling inside her for their own use. There is a magical plague that is going down on the freaking queendom, and it ends up hurting Ren's father. She ends up teaming up with Tamsin. If Tamsin helps her catch the dark witch responsible for the magical plague that is happening, that Ren will give Tamsin her love for her father. I'm assuming that somehow there's going to be a romance between them. I love fantasies, and I love when we actually can get LGBT plus characters in these fantasy books, because I feel like it's just more rare than contemporary books. The next book I'm super excited for is She's Too Pretty to Burn by Wendy Hurd. This comes out March 21st. This is supposed to be inspired by the classic, The Picture of Dorian Gray. I know a lot of people love that book. I still haven't read it. It's supposed to be like a thriller, also a female-female romance as well. Seems like it's 2 girls. Veronica is really bored right now, and she's really talented in photography, but right now she's super uninspired with it. And then we have Nico. She is obsessed with performance arts. They're best friends until Veronica comes across this girl named Mick. Mick is Veronica's dream girl. She's completely swept away right now and fallen in love with her at this moment. But then boom, there's a fire, there's 2 murders, there's 3 drowning bodies, 1 suspect, 1 stalker. This is summer. They won't survive. So it seems like there's two best friends. One of the best friends falls for a girl, and then boom, chaotic shit goes down. There's murders, and who even knows what's going on in this book? I actually have an arc of this book, and I want to read it. Like, I need to read it before this comes out so I can give a review. The next book I'm super excited for is Witches Steeped in Gold by Sianon Smart. This comes out April 20th. I know that this is a Jamaican-inspired fantasy. I can't get enough of fantasy books. This girl named Araya, I might be pronouncing that wrong, has spent her life in a cell. But every day she is trying to get free and really wants to get her vengeance. Then we have this other girl named Jasmine. She is the queen's daughter, and her sister before her actually was murdered by the queen for her to get like further power or something like that. Jasmine and Araya are sworn enemies, but I think they kind of team up together in some way so they can take down probably the terrible queen that is literally killing her daughters. Like, what is going on with that? Sounds like it's going to be really dark and a lot of fun, so I'm super excited. The next book I'm super excited for is Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli. This comes out April 20th. This is the same author of Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. That's one of my favorite freaking books. I have read a few others from Becky Albertalli. Like, I really loved What If It's Us that she wrote with Adam Silvera, and I read the other two books by her. Those weren't really my favorite, but I have hope that I will continue to love this author's books in the future because obviously I've liked something in the past. This one seems to be about like little theater nerds. It is about this friendship between Kate and Anderson. I don't know if Anderson's a boy, but they're super huge friends. Like, they are stuck with each other. They both have a crush on the same guy, but he doesn't live anywhere near them. Eventually, this dude ends up moving towards them and like literally is in the same school now. They're both in love with him or something, and it causes issues in their friendship. Sounds like a dramatic read. I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not, honestly. Like, I really want to like this. Her books are hit or miss with me. The next book is Ablative Secrets by Trisha Levenseller, and this comes out May 4th. I've been wanting to read this for a bit. I love Trisha Levenseller's other books, Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen. I have two of her other books. I still need to read those. I really love how she writes fantasy books and her characters and the romances. Like, it's just really freaking good. This book is pretty much pitched as a blacksmith with anxiety. So the girl is a blacksmith. That means she makes weapons. Like, I've always wanted to write a story about someone who makes weapons, like a blacksmith like that. And she has anxiety. I have anxiety, so I really always connect with characters who deal with anxiety. It seems like she is tasked to create a sword that when you cut someone, it tells you all of their secrets. Next book is Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler. This comes out May 11th. The main character, Laura, has had a crush on this guy forever. She finally gets the boy of her dreams, and then, oh my gosh, she keeps getting haunted by the memory of this girl. And I'm guessing this girl is pretty cute, and she's just feeling some type of way. Hopefully there's no, like, cheating involved. I'm sure there might be a little bit of emotional cheating, which I don't like cheating books whatsoever, but I just still feel like this could be, like, a cute little thing. I'm assuming the main character is bisexual or pansexual. The next book is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. This book comes out May 13th. It is the fourth one, so I can't really tell you what goes on in this book, but I really love this graphic novel series. It starts off with Nick and Charlie. They're just two boys in this all-boy private school or something like that. They end up being friends at first. They're on the same lacrosse team, and Charlie's like the only openly gay person at their school, and they were outed involuntarily. Nick is not really sure about his sexuality. He's always thought he was straight, but now he's starting to question things, and Nick and Charlie are just having like a little relationship forming, starting as a friendship, and maybe it could turn into something more. The next book I'm excited for is The Ivies by Alexa Dunn. This comes out May 25th. I love Alexa Dunn. She actually has a AuthorTube channel. I love her videos. I've loved them for years. I read Brightly Burning by her, loved it so much, and then I read The Stars We Steal. I really enjoyed that one as well. This one I feel like I'm gonna enjoy even more because this is a YA thriller. Her other two books were YA sci-fis, which is not normally my cup of tea, but for some reason I really liked her books. It is about this really intense school. There's this group of girls called the Ivies. Crazy shit is going down with them. They will do anything to get into the college of their dreams, even murder people. Seems like some crazy people are in this book, and I love crazy people in books. So I will read this. The next book I'm excited for is A Psalm of Storms and Silence by Roseanne A. Brown. This comes out June 1st, and this author wrote A Song of Wraith and Ruin that came out earlier this year. I really loved that book. It is the first in a fantasy duology. It is inspired by West African folklore. It's just really good, and Malik, the main dude in the book, he has anxiety. I love to see anxiety rep in fantasy books. There's a guy named Malik. He is moving to this city, and there's a whole event called Solstasia, I think, and pretty much it's just a bunch of people competing, and whoever wins is going to get like the gift that the queen or whatever gives them. And this year, the queen actually gets executed. Princess Karina is taking the place of the queen. This is like in the description, so I'm not spoiling you. Princess Karina is not happy her mom got murdered. Obviously, I don't think anybody would normally feel that way. She found out that she can actually resurrect her mom if she has the heart of a king. So she decides whoever wins Solstasia is going to need to die. She's gonna make them her king, she's gonna marry them, and then she's gonna kill them. The thing about Malik, who is competing in Solstasia, he is trying to actually kill Princess Karina, because when he got to the city, he had his little sister stolen from him, and the only way he can get her back is to kill the princess. The next book I'm excited for is An Emotion of Great Delight by Tahara Mafi, and this one comes out June 1st. It seems kind of similar to her other book that she has written. It is A Very Large Expanse of Sea. I love that book, and it pretty much followed a Muslim teenage girl right after 9/11. In this book, it's 2003, several months since the US officially declared war on Iraq. The American political world has evolved. Tensions are high, hate crimes are at an all-time rise. Things are just really bad right now. The Muslim community is harassed and targeted more than ever, and our main character Shadi, I might be mispronouncing that and I'm sorry if I am, she wears a hijab and she is just really keeping her head down right now. She's just really trying to hide in the shadows. She's just really probably boiling up all of the emotions that she is feeling right now, and it says she ends up just exploding. Like, I guess she just gets so fed up that she just like explodes all the emotions. It sounds like a really emotional freaking book. The word emotion is in it. It sounds really sad. There's literally teardrops on the cover. The next book is Better Together by Christine Riccio. This comes out June 1st. This one kind of reminds me of The Parent Trap. I put this on my list. Like, this is not my most excited book of the year, but I'm definitely like intrigued. I read Again But Better by this author. I have a whole reading vlog for it. I had like an arc of it. Obviously, this author is a booktuber. She's one of the biggest booktubers on the platform. It seems like two long lost sisters. One of them lives with the dad, one of them lives with the mom. They decide they want to freaking call out their parents. They want to switch places. They don't look anything alike actually, so like how do you do that? Seems like there's gonna be a magical twist that actually lets them like switch bodies. The next book is The Ghost We Keep by Mason Deaver. This book comes out June 1st. Mason Deaver wrote another book called I Wish You All the Best. Really loved that one, so I'm definitely wanting to read this one. This book seems to be about a non-binary teenager named Liam. Liam's older brother Ethan is killed in a hit and run. Liam is really distraught over this, obviously, and it's a really freaking hard time, and it seems like this book just really battles with grief and just how to keep going. And it's about a non-binary lead. I feel like there's just not a lot of those. The next book on my list is Bloodlike Magic by Lizelle Sambury. I'm pretty sure they have a YouTube channel. It's an author-tube channel just like Alexa Dunn. Comes out June 15th if I didn't say that already. This is a witch book. I just do not have enough witch books in my life, so I'm super excited about this one. A rich, dark, urban fantasy debut following a teen witch who is given a horrifying task, sacrificing her first love to save her family's magic. The problem is, she's never been in love. She'll have to find the perfect guy before she can kill him. That sounds freaking depressing. You're literally like forced to murder the love of your life, but you haven't even met them yet. So like, boom, you have the knowledge that you have to kill them even before you meet them. That sounds like an issue, and it sounds like an issue I want to read about. The next book is Eat Your Heart Out by Kelly DeVos. This comes out June 29th, and this one sounds so much fun because it's a zombie book and it's a plus-size main character. And unfortunately, the main character, Vivian, is forced into this situation where she has to go to a weight loss camp. Those are just completely freaking demeaning, and especially if you don't freaking want to go there and you like fully accept your body and you love yourself how you are, as you should. It's a really problematic thing, but Vivian is super not happy about this, and she gets to the camp with a few other people, and then oh my gosh, a camper goes missing, and then oh gosh, it gets even worse. She spots something that's like non-human out in the snow, and oh my gosh, it's a freaking zombie. And for some reason this camp just becomes a whole bunch of zombies, and I guess like the remaining people, like our main character, are having to fight their way out of it. I love zombie things. The Walking Dead is like my favorite show freaking ever. I'm excited because it's gonna be a body positivity book and a freaking scary horror zombie situation. The next book is Rise to the Sun by Leah Johnson. This comes out July 6th. I read You Should See Me in a Crown by this author. I really loved that book, and I know I want to read any further books by this author. Honestly, the premise of this book is not really like that interesting to me because it's just about a music festival and like two girls meet there, and like I'm all here for the female romance, but like I am not like into like music festivals or anything like that. I'm sure this book will be good. I'm sure there's gonna be something interesting. Apparently the music festival goes a bit wrong and there's like a panic, and Olivia and Tony like get to know each other more. Next book is All of Us Villains by Christine Lynn Herman and Amanda Foody. This comes out November 9th. There's obviously a huge gap between July and November. You know, there's so many books that come out in between that, and I'm sure I'm gonna find some and love them next year. This book has interested me from the beginning because it was pitched as like a thing with the Hunger Games, saying you love the victors of the Hunger Games, you're gonna love these freaking characters. So I'm like, oh my god. There's no cover officially yet. It's about a competition, fight to the death. Like, I sound terrible that I'm excited about this. It's just the Hunger Games. Anything with a Hunger Games vibe like gets me so excited. I just love survival books where your true colors come out and you do whatever you have to get through the situation. There's like a whole group of families, and every generation the family has to pick someone to go into this competition and fight to the death, and I guess the main character is a part of this situation. The final book on my list that I'm excited for doesn't even have a release date, so it could be earlier in the year or not even come out at all this year, could be pushed back. It's Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This author has written a lot of books so far. I've read 2 of them this year and I loved them so freaking much. It was Grown and Monday's Not Coming. This author kind of like writes a little bit like a thriller aspect, contemporaries. It's not really a thriller, but like it's not your normal lovey-dovey happy contemporaries. No, people are dying, like terrible things are happening. The premise that we got on Goodreads is it's Get Out meets The Haunting of Hill House. It's about a girl and her blended family who move into a newly renovated, picture-perfect home in a dilapidated Midwestern city and are haunted by what she thinks are ghosts but might be far worse. Oh my gosh, I love weird and creepy things like this. So oh my gosh, this video has been so long, but I'm glad I got through it, and literally there's probably books I forgot about that I would love to read from authors I already know I love, and just other books that I'll probably find in 2021 that I'm gonna fall in love with that I wish I put on this list. But overall, I'm so excited for these books. Let me know if there's any of them that you're gonna keep your eye out for as well. I hope there is, because there seems to be like a lot of good ones in this list. I don't know about you. Like this video, comment down below, have a good day, please subscribe, make sure to follow all my social medias which are linked down below, and go click the bell button, which is right by the subscribe button, which you should have already clicked, and goodbye.